sad when we read and hearing from a distinguished senator from Kericho that a court has been closed and nothing is being done about it. Article 48 of the Constitution, Madam Speaker, is very clear that the state must ensure every Kenyan has access to justice. And many other articles of the Constitution talk of speedy dispensation of justice, affordable access to justice, and people should not be made to suffer because of poor administrative decisions by any arm of government. Like my colleagues before me have said, Madam Speaker, and you are a lawyer yourself, a court is not a building. A court is an arena where justice can be dispensed to any person in need of justice. You can sit, we are being told about tents in the Obado case. You can actually sit as a court under a tree, as long as there is a judicial officer. In criminal cases, there's a prosecutor, and they can dispense justice for Kenyans. So to close a court, Madam Speaker, and let people languish in custody on end because the judiciary is not functioning is wrong and is something condemnable. Madam Speaker, you've been reading, and as lawyers you know, that over 80% of Kenyans in custody, remand custody or post-trial custody, are people on what we call petty offenses. Snatching a phone, pickpocketing, petty burglary. Now they are even arresting boys on border without a license. You go to court, you are given a bond you can't afford. I remember we went to Kitui during the Senate Mashinani with the Senator Mutula Kilozo here, Sakaja and others. Madam Speaker, in 1 hour we fundraised and got more than 23 petty inmates released. Somebody is in custody for the last 1 year because he could not raise a bail of 2,000 shillings. 2,000 shillings. And the courts just keep on mentioning cases. We must reach a situation, Madam Speaker, where certain petty offenses should attract free bonds. As long as people can turn up, I cannot believe that anybody found riding a motorcycle without a license will run away from justice. Let's deal with criminals who are hardened and dangerous to society in a different way from the way we deal with unfortunate petty offenders, economic offenders, somebody passing by a maize field and plucking a cob of maize to save himself from hunger, ends up in custody for 2 years. This is not right, Madam Speaker. And I want to urge the new Chief Justice, who has come in with a lot of goodwill, that the letter we saw about accountability of the judiciary on the spending of public resources must have come out of improper advice. No parliament, Madam Speaker, in this country or any comparable jurisdiction will summon a judge to ask them how they arrived at a judgment in a case. That we can do. But we vote for money to go to the judiciary, to build structures, to run their day-to-day expenditure. They have to account for that money. And Parliament will appropriate funds to government departments and will also hold those departments to account. You remember, Madam Speaker, in 2013, when the Auditor General questioned that the judiciary had spent 68 million on the inauguration of the president. The judiciary has never been given any authority to spend money on a presidential inauguration. And you can tell that that money was actually misappropriated, if not stolen. Those questions must be there. If we give the judiciary money to buy vehicles, and instead of buying new vehicles, they go to Dubai and buy second-hand vehicles, questions will be asked. If you give them money to build a courtroom in Mandera worth 60 million and you go there and find a courtroom worth 10 million, questions will be asked. Those are public resources. So I want to urge the Chief Justice that in case there is a disconnect in communication between the courts and Parliament, let both institutions have liaison officers that can help in a smooth communication and running of affairs, but nobody, and I repeat, nobody in this country, as long as you are in public, administering public resources, you will be asked questions, and you must answer those questions. And we want the people of Kericho, and Madam Speaker, you come from very close to Kericho. I'm sure some of your people are languishing in custody in Kericho because their cases cannot be heard. Somebody from Nyakaju goes to Kericho and tries to ease himself by the roadside. Somebody turns up and says, Maliza 20. They end up in custody and they stay there for a long time. So we want courts to function everywhere so that Kenyans have easy access to justice.
Senator Musuruve.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity to support the statement by Senator Senator Cheriot concerning the closure of the courts. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to issues of courts must always be open. And I'm saying like this,